welcome to another edition of Talking Sports. I'm Charlie DeBiase, sports reporter for the Staten Island Advance, and this week's topic is the top sports stories of the 2007-08 school year. We're joined by Advance reporter and columnist Tom Dowd. Tom, thanks for joining the show.
Sure thing, Charlie.
We could talk about dozens of things, but we narrowed it down to the top three, and we're going to start with number three. That is the college basketball season. What a year it was. Several Staten Islanders that had made their mark both in the women's and the men's. What a season for college basketball concerning Staten Island athletes.
A bunch of kids really had a great year. You know, Staten Island is really passionate about basketball. You look at the high school level and you see it at our local tournament. But this was the first time in really a long time that we had a group of kids on a college level that really made a mark and did something that stood out nationally that everybody could really look at and be really proud of.
It truly is remarkable. And when you think now, I mean, how many years and years have gone by and we've never seen it before? What about the fact that Anasicki won back-to-back national championships on a powerhouse like Tennessee?
She went to Tennessee as part of a very highly rated recruiting class. She was the first one in that class to get into Tennessee's starting lineup as a freshman, never left. Nothing but 3.5 years of hard work, consistency, rebounding, block shots, and in the Final Four the last 2 years, she made a huge impact.
And then when you look at the other side, now Kyle McElhonney, and Tommy and I, we've seen Kyle McElhonney throw in 35 a night, junior and senior year at Moore Catholic High School. Now, he didn't do it per night at Notre Dame this past year as a junior. But Tom, he did throw in 30 a couple of times against some of the best competition in the nation. It's unbelievable to see something like that from, you know, a Staten Island kid.
Kyle McElhonney really opened a lot of people's eyes this year, and I think a lot of people nationally weren't sure what Notre Dame was going to get from him. And he really stepped into a role, a leadership role, played both guard positions, and showed everything. He could score, he could pass, shoot the three. He had some huge nights from three-point range. He had 3 30-point games. And Notre Dame was really kind of the surprise of the Big East and one of the surprise stories nationally. And a lot of that had to do with Kyle McElhonney.
In terms of team success, the Rossiter brothers out of Monsignor Farrell High School, Stephen and Ryan, can you do much better than what Davidson did? That's where Stephen Rossiter played going to, you know, the Elite Eight.
Davidson, you know, was a team that kind of been on the cusp for the last couple of years. And Rossiter, Stephen really became part of, you know, this huge national story because Davidson was the last underdog, the last Cinderella left standing, and they were really just a shot away from going to the Final Four. You know, Ryan was in Sienna's starting lineup for a little bit in midseason. Sienna, a terrific team out of the MAC. They really smacked around Vanderbilt from the SEC in the first round of the tournament.
All right, Tom, let's switch gears here now. The number 2 story has to be the Wooden Bats. You know, at first, I remember having a conversation with you about 2 weeks into the baseball season, saying at first we agreed we didn't think there was too much of an effect, but now that the season is over, the wood bat era that is now existing again truly had an effect on the year.
It was a dramatic impact, and like you said, the first couple weeks I was still seeing a lot of well-hit balls, and but over the course of the season, we really saw so many tightly played games, especially in the PSAL playoffs. PSAL playoffs became just a very wide-open thing. You know, Tottenville and Monroe, perennial finalists, knocked out in the second round. I think we had about 10 teams in the city in the PSL who were right on par, very close to each other, and we ended up with a PSAL City Championship game, Madison GW, that was scoreless for 10 innings.
Each year, and I've been doing this for over 20 years now, I would say by average I've witnessed covering games maybe 5 or 6 homers a year. I didn't see a home run over a fence until the winner's bracket final of the Catholic League where Moore's Joe Harton hit one in over the left field fence. That was the whole entire season. But the thing that's remarkable, correct me if I'm wrong, is, you know, unless these players decide to start putting cork in their bat, which I don't think they're going to do. I'm not trying to influence you or anything like that. It's not like things are going to change.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be like this probably forever.
Well, you saw more homers than I did, unless we count homers over the cones that Bobby Napo put up at Susan Wagner High School.
Right.
But it was really, the bottom line is everybody loved this. Every coach I talked to over the course of the season, Bobby Napo said it to me after the quarterfinal loss to Madison. Everybody loves it. I haven't heard anybody say a bad word about it. Right. You know, a lot of these coaches, and I wrote this a few weeks back, these coaches are lifers in the game. They grew up playing with wood. This is the game they know. This is the game they like better. So they're real happy with the way it turned out.
There's no doubt about it. This is something, the wood bats is something that obviously has had a major effect on high school baseball. And We'll see how it goes over the next few years if ERAs continue to go down. Now we go to our number one story, and you know, it's actually, I don't know about you, Tom, it was a little bit shocking to me because I just can't see this person not doing anything else, and I mean that in a positive way, but Curtis High School football coach Freddie Oliveri has decided to hang it up. After 26 seasons at Curtis, they won the championship in '07, his fourth in the last 10 years. They were in the championship 6 out of the last 11 years. I don't know about you. I'm personally saddened to see Freddie go down. What are your feelings about it?
You know, that's the same thing I asked Peter Gamdell, the new head coach, and Peter McNamara, the assistant coach. I said, what is Freddie going to do? This is such a guy who's put a quarter century into coaching this football team. He's so energetic about it, so enthusiastic. And they said, you know, Freddie's got a lot of interest. He'll figure out something. But for that reason, yeah, I was a little bit surprised too.
There aren't many nicer men around. You know, once the game is over, the interview, talking about your family, whatever it is. Freddie Oliveri was a classy man.
They had a real special thing going down there, you know, because Fred was a Curtis alumni. All his assistant coaches were Curtis alumni that played for him. So they're very tight-knit. They had a really great family atmosphere going. And Freddie, you know, obviously put so much time outside of the football field, making sure kids got to college, doing a lot of work that way. That's the kind of guy he was.
It truly is unbelievable. I don't know about you, Tom. Maybe the night before Curtis's first game, we could sneak to his house, like 10 o'clock at night, knock on the door, and see Freddie open it up, like shaking in convulsions or anything like that. But Freddie Oliveri will truly be missed, and hopefully we'll see him on the sidelines regardless of his retirement. Well, that's it for this week's segment of Talking Sports. For Tommy Dowd, I'm Charlie DeBiase, and remember, for all the sports results, please log on to www.silive.com.